When you support the Measure 58 initiative, you are supporting adoptees' right to know their original birth parents' identities, as well as access to their original birth certificates. Imagine it being illegal for you to access your own original birth certificate. No knowledge of your birth parents is allowed to be disclosed to you. Would you feel a sense of emptiness? A sense of unfairness? Would you consider it a violation of your basic rights? While researching this topic, I read a great deal of unsettling information. I read stories of adopted children feeling empty because the basic information that comes so easily to everyone else was denied to them. Even if you are not an adoptee yourself, you still have a voice. If more people advocate to help adoptees learn about their heritage, many people will be able to feel that empty feeling they have been carrying around with them their whole lives. In this speech, I'll discuss the adoptee's point of view as well as the birth parent's point of view. I will also bring adoption facts to your attention and identify the states that do and do not allow adoptees to access their original birth certificates. Now I'll introduce you to the Measure 58 initiative. A common issue parents of adopted children face is what to tell their children about their circumstances of birth. There are some parents who even avoid telling their children they are adopted. According to Andriola in his 2015 article, 8 Reasons Why Adoptees Should Have Access to Their Original Birth Certificates, secrets can be toxic. Adoptees have been fighting to encourage a sense of openness about adoption. Adoptees advocate their right to know to understand the genetic makeup of their parents as well as their parents' identities, as stated in the 21 article, The Right to Know One's Genetic Origin. Clementson in 1999 wrote about a young boy named Curtis Endicott. When Curtis was 6 years old, his parents told him that he was adopted. In 5th grade, he officially understood just what that meant. His class was given an assignment to create their family tree. The only heritage I had was borrowed, says Endicott, now 51. It leaves a kind of hole inside of you. At age 58, Endicott wanted to campaign to advocate Measure 58 in his state of Oregon. He and Helen Hill, chief petitioner of Measure 58, decided to team up. This is about civil rights, says Hill. There is no reason we should be denied a basic right. Endicott campaigned to gather signatures for the ballot initiative and passed within 57% of the vote. Adoptees are the only group denied access to their original birth certificates, explains Andriola. He explains that children placed in foster homes are not denied that right. Children born out of wedlock whose fathers want to keep their affair secret are not denied that right. What is it that excludes adoptees from that right? While some birth parents want to be found, there remains those who wish to be left alone. Much of this depends on when the birth parent gave up the child. Adoptees were formally encouraged not to ask questions or show interest in their birth parents. Birth parents were advised to completely dismiss the pregnancy. There are many birth parents who feel shame for giving up their child, Silverman explained in 1988. This feeling of shame could be a reason for not wanting to see the child. It could bring up too many emotions. On the other hand, many birth mothers want to know, according to Andriola in his 2015 article. He brings to our attention that many biological mothers are putting forth effort to grant adoptees access to their original birth certificates. He explains that these mothers were likely persuaded to give their child up for adoption, and they were probably not promised confidentiality. There are valid reasons from both the adoptee as well as the birth parent's point of view. As quoted from adoptee Ron Morgan, we feel that humans have a fundamental right to identity and that government should not be putting up impediments to keep people from accessing their own vital records. We feel that it's a civil right for us to access them, says Callahan in 2001. Some birth parents, however, feel that adoptees' access to their birth parents' names is a violation to the birth parents' privacy. Tom Andriola gives a great perspective on this issue. He states that hiding the truth is not the way to protect a birth parent's right to privacy. That is what existing laws are for. In his 2015 article, he points out, they will not be kids for forever. These adoptees grow up to be adults with as many rights as anyone else, and they want to be treated as such. I'd like to share with you some findings of state access of original birth certificates for adoptees retrieved from the state adoption legislation. As of 2015, Alabama, Alaska, Colorado, Hawaii, and Kansas are under unrestricted access, which is the ability for adult adoptees to access their original birth certificates. Arkansas, Delaware, Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri are under access with restrictions. Access with restrictions is access for adult adoptees to the original certificates with limits. Connecticut and Massachusetts are under partial access. Partial access is access for adult adoptees to the original certificates who are born during certain years. Maryland, Michigan, and Minnesota are under partial access with restrictions. Partial access with restrictions is access for adult adoptees born during certain years with limits. Arizona, California, District of Columbia, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, and Mississippi are sealed. Sealed means that adult adoptee access to their original certificates are very limited or not accessed without a court order. In Mississippi, an adoptee 21 and older may request identifying information on either or both parents from the Bureau of Vital Records. If the birth parent did not file a prior refusal, the adoptee can request that agency conduct a search. Unless the birth parent files a consent, identifying information cannot be released except upon court order. This speech should have enlightened you on the frustration and unfairness adoptees face regarding restriction against knowledge of their heritage. Denying the individual access to who they are can be a mentally damaging thing. They are permanently left with a chapter missing from their story. Many adoptees feel the need to know who their parents are. Many birth parents want to remain hidden. There is a way the two could compromise with each other. If adoptees could access their vital records, birth parents who wish to remain unknown could utilize the social laws that are already in place. This way, adoptees know their heritage, and birth parents can remain out of contact if desired. It is their right to know who they are.